Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. I'm Captain Kyle from Phantom Spotlight and the host of the Governor Reacts, and I'll be moderating this awesome Walking Dead fan panel. We're streaming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing basically that Comic-Con life right to you in the safety of your own homes with free fan panels in this case. So whether you're watching this, now or later, we appreciate your support. Don't forget to check out upcoming events for Wizard World on wizardworld.com and check out our vendors and favorite artists and also some signed memorabilia from other virtual experiences at wizardworldvault.com. So we have here a collection of super fans and, industry insiders. So I'm going to go around and have these fine fans introduce themselves. We'll start off with my fellow reactor, Machond. Tell us about you and tell everyone, introduce yourself and tell us about your love of The Walking Dead.
Hi, my name is Machond. I started posting Walking Dead reactions on YouTube because Walking Dead is my favorite show because it gives me any and everything I need in the TV show. And when I watch it, I just think to myself, I'm cutting up. I should record this. So it's really just that simple. And that's why I post them. Also, being in part of the community, and the community that comes along with Walking Dead is everything.
And we love you in the community.
I love you all.
Jaz, you're with our esteemed host, but please tell us.
So I work for Wizard World, and it's amazing, and it allows me to be here with you. And I kind of got into Walking Dead a little bit late. It was the first episode that I watched was the mid-season premiere of season 4 with the governor, and I was like, why haven't I been watching this the entire time?
Yeah, why haven't you? Why haven't you?
But I got caught up, and I've been a fan ever since.
The governor always manages to bring people in, and now we have Johnny Odell. Johnny, introduce yourself. Tell them how special you are.
I am not any more special than anyone else. You are all more special than me. I'm Johnny Odell. I run the social media accounts for The Walking Dead on the Skybound side. That's Robert Kirkman's company. We produce the show and we create the comics. I got into The Walking Dead a little bit late. At the time, I was trying to impress a girl who was really into The Walking Dead. And I was like, damn, I need to get that similar interest going. The girl ended up moving back to Boston and getting married. I have stuck with The Walking Dead. That is my forever girlfriend. That's probably the saddest thing I've ever said. But anyway, huge fan of The Walking Dead. I love my job. So happy to be here.
Awesome. And for those not familiar with me, I actually cosplay the governor and have once in a while I cosplay the governor and I do reactions in character. So I try to do a little bit different of a spin, and you can find it on Phantom Spotlight. And I watched the first season. And then I started watching the second season, and I actually got bored at the beginning of that season and stopped. And someone said, hey, I was at a convention dressed as Captain Jack Harkness from Torchwood Doctor Who. And someone said, that's a great costume, but have you thought of cosplaying the governor? And I'm like, who's the governor? It's like, oh, he's from The Walking Dead. I was like, oh, I stopped after season 1. Oh, he's in season 3. So I caught up and I saw David as the governor. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So here I am doing my governor thing.
We've ever had.
I'm sorry?
One of the sickest villains we've ever had.
True.
Absolutely. And yeah, so it's just been a lot of fun. And meeting David has been a lot of fun, going to cons and such. But speaking of cons, we haven't been able to get to real ones for a while, which stinks. But Wizard World, little shout out to our hosts here, has been putting on these wonderful virtual panels. And recently, this past Sunday, I was able to moderate a panel featuring the governor and also some other actors. Chandler Riggs, you might have heard of him. We had Jason Douglas, we had Lou Temple, we had Vincent Ward. Great group of people. And I'd actually like to play a clip from that so that we can actually talk about. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but we're going to watch one of the questions and then just talk about their answers, because it was a lot of fun, I have to say. So let's roll that.
Well, I think Judith kind of
beautiful
took on the
theme.
role that Carl would have had, that he had from the comic books. I think he really would have went down the same path as both Henry and Judith have kind of gone down, and in terms of that, I think he probably would have taken on a little bit more of a leadership role in some fashion, but he would have, been as, I feel like he would have had that arc with Negan, had that arc with the Whisperers, and I feel like we're kind of already seeing the road that Carl would have went down, just played out with, different characters.
Understood. Yeah, definitely. Side note, do you think that Carl would approve of Judith's friendship with Negan?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Carl's like dying wish was for Rick to not kill Negan, and his whole thing for his last few episodes was about forgiveness and trying to just put our differences aside and come together for something better. And I think he definitely wouldn't. He would be the one in the cell talking to Negan. If he hadn't have died. So yeah.
Awesome. So Lou, if you hadn't taken a shot to the head, I think it was David who killed you.
It sure was.
If you hadn't had your head ventilated, what role do you think you'd be now in the show? What do you think you'd be doing with the survivors?
I think Axel would have, tried to continue to be sort of a peacemaker, a deal maker amongst the group of survivors. I think through association with Herschel, I think there might have been a little rehabilitative Bible study. I think Axel may have taken on a charismatic preacher type of role, rather Pentecost, and been an alternative to Father Gabriel for the good word.
Well, yeah. And Father Gabriel gets kind of intense, so maybe Lou, you would have been a better choice for some people who wanted a little more chill.
Yeah, maybe leaving service feeling good about themselves.
How about a bottle episode between you and Gabriel, like a little theological debate, like the whole.
That'd be great.
The ratings would plummet, but it would be,
like a tent service. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I'd watch that. David, if you had maybe not killed Herschel and took the deal that Rick had offered, where do you think you'd be in the series now?
Yeah, I think there could be some alliance between the governor and Negan. I think I think the governor might have in some way played low status with Negan for a bit, and then just sort of surreptitiously sort of taken over in some way. He was very clever in that way. I could never see him teaming up in any way with Rick and the team. That's the whole basis of having taking the prison, was the fact that he was never going to team up with Rick. If there was a possibility that he would team up with them, then he would have entered that prison in a different way. So, but Negan, I could see there being some sort of evil alliance between them, and I'd worked with Jeffrey before on another show, and I didn't get a chance to work with him on this, obviously, but I would have loved to have a chance to work with him again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Exon didn't last as long as we'd like, but what could you do? Vincent, where would you be today if you hadn't taken that shotgun blast?
I think I would have been the muscle, the loyal guy, of course. I tell people all the time, just because a person is in prison or in jail doesn't make them a bad person. It just made them bad choices. So I think, just like Oscar was a loyal person to the group, but I think it would have taken Axel to be there also, because I felt like we brought a little comedy, a little buddy comedy sometimes for a show that was always dark. We will always go back and forth and say, little funny things. So I think it would have been something like that. He would have been the preacher. I would have been the big bad guy, but we still would have had a combination of making people laugh.
Maybe the bouncer at the front of the church when people coming in. It's like, no, you go to Father Gabriel.
The deacon. He could have been the deacon.
Jason, where do you think you'd be?
Oh, I'd still be competing for Carol's heart, of course. No, fans will hate me for saying that. But I don't know. I think the writers would probably finally get an Emmy for figuring out how Tobin would continue to fit into the Walking Dead storyline. They gave me such a long leash to start with. Tobin should have been dead during the Walker Horde invasion of Alexandria. But by the time I was finishing the show, Tobin was becoming more of a trusted soldier type. He wasn't sort of the fearful, sheepish kind of guy that we met in season 5. He was right there on the front lines in the assault on Negan's compound, and of course we saw him sort of with Judith in the backpack as they were kind of trekking toward safety and freedom. So I it's hard to know what he would be up to at this point. I think he would still be soldiering on and having an occasional interesting episode or two.
All right. Yeah. A wide variety of answers. Before we get into your guys' reactions to it, the Nostalgic Pod Blast from Atlanta is in the house, and they just want to say hi to everybody. So hi, Atlanta. Hi, Nostalgic Pod Blast. And all right, Johnny, what was your thoughts about those answers to where they'd be now had they not died?
First of all, you had like a murderer's row of guests. I mean, we have a really good panel now, but I mean, you had all the actors. That is amazing. It makes me sad about Chandler. I'd have to say that because I'm a big fan of the comics, and for those who haven't read it, he makes it very far, the furthest, some would say, in the comics. And I'm sad we'll never get to see that version in the show. And like he said, Henry, Judith have kind of taken up the torch. Not Henry anymore, RIP. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see, I'd love to kind of, hit shuffle on a lot of those characters and just see where, how the governor would deal with Negan and, see how Axel would interact with Father Gabriel. Loved all those kind of mashups. Maybe someone can write the fan fiction and we can get that, animated or something. But yeah, I mean, it's always fun to kind of speculate. But the governor one would probably be the most interesting because I'm as evil as he was so interesting. And, I miss him just a teeny bit, even though he's terrible.
Jaz, what do you think?
So the Negan governor line actually really intrigued me. I'm not really sure how far they would have gone, like Negan being on the governor's side. I maybe it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing him, but I see some good in him still, and I think at a point he would have had it and probably would have done something to the governor himself at some point.
Machond?
First, I miss Chandler very much, Johnny. So I feel that I actually like Carl in the show better than in the comics. So it would have been nice to see more of him in the show. And I think that Carl would have been even more like, Glenn was like the ultimate sign of humanity in Apocalypse. Carl was going more and more towards that, which is his dying wish was to literally not kill Negan, even though Negan did all of those things. So it would have been nice to see Carl. And I don't agree with David that he would have struck up a deal with Negan because he couldn't leave well enough alone. It just had to be his world. He had to run it. He left, came back, killed his ex-man, took over again. Like he was how he was and he was not changing at all. So I don't think he would have struck up a deal with Negan at all. He would have, if he would have, it would have been fake and then he would have undermined Negan in the end. So yeah.
Well, that's what he was basically saying. He would basically play second fiddle and be like, get into the good graces of Negan and then take out Negan and take over and be like, no, this is the new Woodbury. So, that type of thing. We have Phyllis 2284 said she really misses Abraham. And the Nostalgic Podblast says they miss Glenn, hands down. We also have some great people from British Columbia, Hollywood, Virginia, New York. They're in the house watching. Wow. And everyone misses certain characters, But that actually brings up a point that this last episode doesn't address, but it kind of raises the question. Negan was seen by Maggie, and Maggie was not happy. So can Negan actually make up for killing Glenn, for killing Abraham, for killing Spencer, for killing, for basically contributing to the death of Sasha and his people, doing all those additional deaths with people in the kingdom, and they were basically under his command. So he's got to, can he truly redeem himself, or is it like, well, thanks for killing Alpha, we're going to give you Christmas off,
First of all,
you're back.
No one misses Spencer. No one misses Spencer.
I mean, he was nice to look at, but that's it. So
I mean, he even looked like a douche. I don't know, but I'll leave that. Yeah.
He's a decent. He's a hoot in real life, but
it's
I
weird.
had the opportunity. He's very nice in real life, but yeah, he was basically a douche. But still, if you kill everyone who's a douche, there would be
no show.
a lot less people in the world.
I have insight on a lot of things, but I don't have insight on season 11 yet. If I would say, Negan and Maggie, it doesn't seem like can live in the same community. I can't see them, standing in line together to get coffee or whatever they're doing in Alexandria. So it's kind of like keeping, your friend's toxic ex-boyfriend in the friend group or in the group chat. You're just like, he's just kind of ruining the energy around here. So with the introduction of Commonwealth coming, for those who don't know, it's the next big place they're going to. That's with the Stormtrooper soldiers. That's where they're from. So they're the next big community. So maybe if we can find a way where Maggie's in one community and Negan's in another, they're both aware of each other, but they don't ever have to see each other. That might be the best opportunity to keep both of them, going in the show. Otherwise, Negan's going to have to go. I love Negan, but I'm going to have to choose Maggie every time because she's right.
That's true. I feel like, of course, Maggie had that reaction. She was just so happy walking and talking with her little niece Judith, and she saw Negan and she was just triggered. This man murdered my husband. Let me walk away. So she's never going to be okay with him, and I think that's fine, but I don't think Negan can ever redeem himself, because y'all know I'm always team Glenn. Unless he can revive him and bring him back to life, he can't. But what he can do is just be a part of the team and help staying alive easier. That's all he can do, which he did clearly with Alpha. So he's doing the best he can.
So actually, I kind of got the vibe that we might, this is just a theory of my own, but we might see like a Merle storyline arc with Negan where he might end up sacrificing himself to save little Herschel or even Maggie, maybe even both at some point. So
I wouldn't mind that.
That would be full circle. I would be sad about it, but
yeah.
Well, in the comic book, I mean, to be honest, and no offense to Skybound, Johnny, I haven't read all the comics. You got to send me all the compendiums, and we'll I'll read them like Machond does.
I'm almost done. Don't spoil them. The last thing I read was whatever the first chapter of 4 was, and then here's Negan. I don't remember which order it was in, but yeah, I got to finish.
Okay, well, Negan, what he does in the comics is probably not going to happen on the show. So I'm trying not to spoil things, but now my hands are tied. So it's probably not going to be the same solution as from the comics. So yeah, I think you might be right. The Commonwealth might be a way that, if Negan would be accepted by them, he's basically got to have a new life with people who are not so upset. But still, have we forgiven Negan for Glenn, for Abraham? Maggie will never forgive him. Roxanne Moya 47 on Twitch said Maggie's not going to forgive him, and I think she might forgive him if he sacrifices his life, but that I think is about the only way that's going to happen.
Well, and the thing is, you got to remember that Rick's people came in and murdered all his people while they were sleeping. So,
oh my God. Yeah, there are no clean hands in
Machond will not take that.
but
Every time people say that, it makes me so upset. The one time we've been wrong in the apocalypse for like 11 years, people like to bring it up, but Negan had an entire dictatorship.
I'm not saying it was
It's
right.
like,
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that there is that reason that he did that for. So
he was gonna kill us
Well,
anyway.
someone was even saying that, oh, well, Daryl blew up that group of motorcycle people.
exactly.
But I think that was actually justified. They were basically kind of threatening to kill one of their people.
They were very rude.
Yeah.
For just driving down the street. Unprovoked, they were ready to kill everybody.
Right. So I think that death was fine. But yeah, striking this deal and going, and that was definitely a misstep on the part of Rick. But if I can go governor for a minute, I have to say that Rick for a while was actually becoming a lot like the governor.
Yep.
In fact, what I like to point out is when Deanna tells him that a couple people didn't like the community and they let him go, he's like, you what? You let him go? Because, you know, the reason I tried to have Machond killed after she decided to leave Woodbury is because I couldn't take the chance that she'd go and gather some group together and come back to try to take what we had, you know, everything we had built. Or even if she didn't, that she'd be interrogated by somebody out there and they'd decide, hey, let's visit Woodbury and attack it. So, you know, you gotta keep that operational security. And, you know, it was nothing real personal with Machond.
You kept your
No.
security. Look what you did to Andrea.
Yeah. But, you know, we definitely had the situation where Rick was seeing things from my point of view, even if it was with, you know, two eyes. So yeah, he was going a little bit more in my direction. And then that whole thing with Porch Dick, you know, I could see the rage. I was very proud of Rick in that moment. I never felt closer to him, but
I like that in season 5 when Michonne just like knocked Rick out because he was wilding. He was going crazy. I mean, he had glass all over his face. He's strangling people through windows. Rick had to, you know, that was all full Rick-tatorship. You know, Michonne's just like, shut up. You're gonna ruin this for all of us.
He's always covered in blood and disgusting.
Yeah, she's
Never
like, Jesus,
fails.
dude.
and the actor who plays Porch Dick, nicest guy, Corey Brill. He is such a nice guy. I actually got to play him. I don't know if it's still online anymore, in a parody video of Sugar, where I actually played Porch Dick and was wailing on Rick, and then got beat up. But yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you guys if it's still out there. And what's weird is one of our guests, Jason Douglas, is often mistaken for Porch Dick Pete.
I've mistaken him for Porch Dick Pete before. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but
that is sad.
At Walker Soccer Philly, this girl came up to him and was giving him the riot act about, you know, everything. And we look at each other and he's like, do you want to tell her or should I? But Phyllis 2284 and Chance Bartle say Negan was definitely worse than Rick. Nostalgic Podblast says Rick should have slit Negan's throat back when he had the opportunity as punishment for killing Glenn, which I think Maggie totally agreed at that point, that, you know, or at least not have Sadiq help him out, you know, so yeah. But now I want to move on from Negan, who's I'm sure going to be a pain in our asses for a while, to a new pain in the ass. We have these Reapers that Maggie is bringing down. And, you know, I've been binge watching Supernatural. So I'm like, what? You know, because I saw Lauren Cohen in Supernatural dealing with these things. And I'm like, what? So she had to bring over the Reapers? Jeez.
Or was it Jeffrey Dean Morgan? Because, you know, Papa Winchester over there. Could have been him too. Just saying.
That's true. They're bringing over their Supernatural. I'm expecting Sam and Dean to pull up any minute. So what are the thoughts on the Reapers?
Who is the Pope? Is my question.
Pope John, what is it now? I'm not even sure.
200. I don't know.
Pope Francis. It's not that kind of Pope. I don't know. I got some insight that this was a group they wanted to introduce in season 11 at first, but when COVID made them do these bonus episodes, they decided to give us just a little hint. but they're, I guess, going to be the next big villain group, I think. And not going to ruin anything for you, Machond, in the comics, but in the Commonwealth, it is, although it is the next group, they're not necessarily a villain group as we've come to know them. They're just a different society. And we agree with some of what they do, but not all of it. So they didn't really have like a juicy villain. So I guess the Reapers will fill that gap. But they seem pretty dangerous. I mean, they're willing to blow themselves up, which is pretty hardcore. So we'll see. And, you know, if they messed with Baby Herschel, which I think we can all agree we must protect at all costs. So if they're going to mess with Baby Herschel, then I want them all dead.
Yeah, that guy definitely went to pieces in that episode. But
our first suicide bomber, I was like,
well, he wasn't a very effective suicide bomber because all it did was kill him.
Yeah.
You need to learn from Ahmed, the dead terrorist. But
yeah, you need to be a little bit more subtle with that.
So what are you guys' reactions to oh, you guys are cutting. Okay, you're back. Okay. What are you guys' reactions though to Micro Glenn, Little Herschel? What was your thoughts, Jaz?
He was so cute. I mean, with that little hat, and he was mini Glenn, and it was just like, it made my heart so happy to see him.
Look, let me not cry because I will always and forever miss Glenn, but they had him dressed just like his daddy. It was so cute. He was
apparently the hat was a last minute ad, and I'm so glad they added it. I mean, it really, I mean, you
that
can
brought it
really,
all together.
Yeah. It's like Daryl was seeing a mini ghost of Glenn. So
I need Judith, RJ, and Herschel to be the Three Musketeers, please.
Yes.
I need that.
Yes. And
they're going to be our new Avengers.
I'm really hoping, like, in the future when like the whole Rick movie thing happens. Sorry to jump ahead here, but like I really need that RJ Rick reunion. Like, when I don't know if he has a kid or like, if that's why he sacrificed his life, or if he doesn't know. But like I need to see that. Like when he realizes, when they see each other for the first time, I need to see that.
There's
I'm
no
like,
way
that's
he
what I'm
knows.
waiting for.
I don't think he knows.
I want Machond to find him and him to be like, "You left our kids where? With Daryl? What the hell? You go back there right now." RJ Martin says Robert Patrick's character's name is Maze.
Yes.
But maybe they call him the Pope, you know, could be a nickname. I mean, we had Jesus, you know, so.
I miss him.
You're not the only one. Where's
I
Woody?
didn't even realize he said Pope marked you. I had to ask, what did he say? I listened to him and it didn't even sound like English.
Yeah, I have to admit, I had to go back to, I watched it on AMC Premiere, and for some reason the closed captions wouldn't play on my TV from AMC Premiere. So when it actually showed up on Sunday night, I watched that part, and then I saw Pope marked me with the subtitles. And Chandler had made some joke about people using subtitles on Twitter, saying people who use subtitles are like the same people who don't read books unless they have pictures, which was a dumb joke. And he admitted it was a dumb joke, but I had to call him out. It's like, yeah, well, between that guy, and then you have Daryl, like, all like mumbly, and then you have like the soft talking from Maggie as she goes through her exposition hour. You know, you can hardly understand a lot of the words that they say. So it's like, subtitles.
I love subtitles. I use subtitles on almost everything except for comedies because I don't like it ruining jokes. You know, I don't like reading the joke before they say it. But otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm like undiagnosed ADD or something because I have a hard time focusing all the time. So I need the subtitles to help me remember names, especially. I never remember names on new TV shows. So subtitles are great. Big
Walking
fan.
Dead might actually be the only thing that I watch with subtitles, and I just started doing it recently. Like they're in the woods running, crunching on leaves, gunshots. It's a lot going on. I need to hear what they're saying.
Yes.
There was like, I can forget the scene, but there was like one scene I had to like rewind 3 times to get what said because I didn't watch it on subtitles. So
yeah, subtitles definitely. I hope they fix it on AMC Premiere so that I can view the subtitles. Phyllis 2284 says, why won't Maggie tell Daryl everything that happened with her people? thoughts? Why do we think she's like, it's a long story, I don't want to tell you everything? Or is it, is it pretty much the revolution or the realization that it was the Reapers that she didn't want to talk about? Because she was kind of like a little standoffish during exposition hour, which is weird because she talked about everything else. But then, yeah, she was kind of holding back, and then surprise, we got these Reapers. Do you think that was a secret she was holding back, or any thoughts on that?
I don't know if it was a secret. Maybe she just didn't feel like it. It was a lot going on. I don't know. Maybe she was still trying to piece the story together herself, because she said they came and they literally ran away from their home. So she might not have even had the whole story yet. So I don't know.
Too soon to really talk about it. She's like, I haven't even processed it myself.
Yeah.
That's a thought.
We still have 29 episodes left. I know that sounds sad altogether. I think they're going to dive more into the Reapers and into Maggie's backstory. At least I hope so. So she's probably just giving us a little tease, and we'll probably get the full story later. She's also tired. I mean, she's sitting in a container. She has to sleep on metal. She's not, in the best mood. Yeah.
And she came all the way from ABC,
I know.
And I
That's a long journey.
Permanent too, that whole container thing again. So, that might be bringing back other memories for her as well.
You can tell how on edge she was after seeing Negan. I think that's why she wanted to go to the shipping container place. Did you see the way she was killing those walkers? She needed to blow off that scene. And Kelly was like, oh, that's so unnecessary.
I'm very glad that Negan took off the jacket for later, when he was doing the work, because it's like, I think the jacket just made it worse.
He's just alive and well in his Negan jacket out here.
At least he didn't have a bat.
I never want to see Lucille again, ever. I would be happy if we never saw that thing again. I do love the fact that Negan looked so sad when he saw Maggie with her son. He was just like, I love that.
I know Negan's like, God damn it, it looks just like him. He's so mad. He was like, look like Maggie, look like Maggie, look like Maggie. Oh, he's got the hat too. Come on.
Exactly.
The only thing missing is the eyeball popping out, and
Oh.
Still too soon for that. Come on.
Am I not to steer get the conversation too off course, but did you guys notice the switch from film to digital? Maybe I'm just like a nerd and I noticed it more, but I think the show looks a lot crisper and just more modern. The film grain I'd gotten tired of. I've talked about this before, especially with night scenes. It just looks so, it looks like you're watching like a 360p version of the episode sometimes. So the switch to digital, which is going to continue through season 11, I am so excited for. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts.
The show looks great.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I didn't notice like the actual switch, but I noticed there was a difference, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I sit there. The girlfriend's the one who's like, oh, look at, well, we were all happy when they started, when Angela Kang took over, and they had color on the screen. For like the first time, there was like, you'd see Alexandria and it wouldn't look dingy and gray. There'd be like bright green. It's like, wow, did they steal some people from Into the Badlands or something? Because that show had so much color. But yeah, it's just amazing. Though this past episode, all the dark scenes were kind of eh.
Yeah, but at least you could see them a little bit better. But I'm excited. That's the one silver lining of COVID, is that it forced them to switch to digital because it's a lot cheaper and easier to shoot. So thanks, COVID.
Speaking of COVID,
don't clip that.
Speaking of COVID, one thing that made me so sad is last year I was going to go to every convention that I could possibly go to. And then COVID happened and I was like, and then they announced the show was ending. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll never need deny. I'm never going to a convention. It's over. We're going to end the show, not meeting anybody in person. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I usually go to 20 plus conventions a year, and last year my whole schedule just cleared off. I actually went to C2E2, and then Wizard World in Cleveland, and then everything died.
That
And
is so depressing.
I think 2022 is going to be our year, guys. We'll get these vaccines in.
Shh,
And
don't jinx it, man. Don't jinx it.
I'm sorry.
I only ever
20
went to
years.
one con,
Oh no, which one?
Walker Stalker Chicago, and I think it was 2017, 18.
Oh, man.
17.
I think
That was-
I might have been
was
at that
a
one.
area.
Jeffrey, Norman, Steven, Chandler, and Scott. It was a great day. It was a
Oh.
great day.
God, I miss him too. He was great.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Yeah, I think I might have been at that Chicago show.
Mhm.
There was a point where I was going to every single Walker Stalker con, and then after a while, it just, unfortunately, that particular convention kind of went off the rails a bit. So
I feel bad for people. The stories I heard, I was like, well, I'm happy I went once. Oh, and I met Cutlets too randomly. He was walking through somewhere. He was so nice.
Oh,
yeah, I got a quick selfie with him once, and he talked about how Abraham would definitely kick the governor's ass, but because of course he's going to say that. But yeah, Pandemic Dead was supposed to be in Atlanta last year, and they're planning on it hopefully for this year. So that's kind of a replacement. I know they're trying to bring back Walker Stalker Con, but I think as long as the original showrunner's involved, it's not going to happen.
They should just
But-
leave it dead, honestly. But that's just, you know.
Yeah. But
I need something to happen. I've met all of my favorite men except for Andy, and I need to meet Denai. I have two left. Just give me Andy and Denai, please. That's all I got left.
I met Andy very briefly in a photo op, and he pointed a gun at me, and that was it. And I met Denai again very briefly in a photo op, and they would not let me have her hold her Machond sword. So I had to
Was
be
it a
like
real
the governor.
sword?
It was a fake plastic one,
Oh.
but any representation of her sword. So I had to be like the governor, like holding it away from her. It's like, you want that? Haha, you can't have it.
Oh, nice. Good improvisation.
You got to do what you got to do. But yeah, a lot of other people are saying how they miss conventions hardcore. Nostalgic Pod Blast and Cher Boudreau. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Also says those Reapers are going to be brutal. So with this episode, and moving on to the other ones, I know Johnny, you have some thoughts. What do people think is going to happen though with the spinoffs? I mean, what's your thoughts about the direction? Why are they doing these spinoffs? Why are they getting rid of the main show? Does anyone have any thoughts?
I think they're getting to that Game of Thrones point where they're out of story, and but Robert hasn't promised another book, so they know this is actually the end. So I think they're trying to honor that. I think originally it was going to be 12 seasons, but thanks to COVID, they're just doing a super packed 24 episode final 11th season. But World Beyond's going to end. Fear, I don't know how long Fear is going to go. I imagine probably as long as Walking Dead. And then we have the Rick movies. But yeah, the Carol Darrell show, I think they're just trying to keep the IP alive and see if there's still interest after the main show ends. And if that does well, then maybe they consider other spinoffs. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I'd like to see as much Walking Dead as possible, but you'd rather like end on a high note than just milk it for all it's worth, and everyone is tired of it. So we'll see.
There was talk about an anthology show, I guess.
Oh, right. That's yeah.
As well. So now I imagine they might take that show and do people's backstories.
That would be fabulous.
I'd like that. I think it's possible.
Yeah, some of those might be backstories. So which backstories do you guys want to see?
Well, I mean, we're already going to get that one with one of I think it's the last episode of the season with Here's Negan. That's the one. Cause I gotta say, I love his wife, Hillary Burton. I'm so excited that she's coming on to play Lucille. I'm so pumped for that. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, honestly.
It is the best episode of the bonus episodes, hands down. I'm excited for you guys to see it. Machond, I can't wait for your reaction. The governor, same with you.
I just want to see all of my favorite characters' backstory. So I honestly, we don't need a Rick one because the story of The Walking Dead is Rick's story, but I'll take a Michonne, I'll take a Daryl, I'll take a Glenn. I'll easily take those. And
So this is the riveting story of Glenn and his delivering pizza.
Where are his siblings is what I want to know, because he mentioned a sister or multiple sisters. Where's his siblings? I don't, there's what I don't want to know.
I guess I just assumed they had all died already. I guess. I don't know.
Abraham was in the whole ass army.
Yes.
Probably some interesting war stories. I'm interested to see him in that, situation.
Yes. A Rosita one would be good too.
Yes, that would be good.
Sasha,
Eugene, I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I can imagine a Eugene backstory in my head.
I get it. Yeah.
Well, Eugene just will talk like this, and thank you very much.
Be very
God bless Josh Dermott, though. He's like the sweetest guy ever.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
And I'm still mad at the fans that bullied him off of social media. Those people should not belong in the Walking Dead family. Yes, I said it.
I didn't even know that happened.
It happened. They were just, they were mean.
How dare you betray the group?
Because we're actually in the podcast.
People need to separate actors from the characters.
Episode where like he did something like with the bullets or the gun or something. I can't really remember exactly. But I went to Twitter when I was still using it. I'm like, can Josh McDermott please come back to social media now? Can everybody just like love him? Because that was just like,
people say things on the internet that they would never say.
I'm mad. I'm with you.
No. If they saw him in the airport, they're like, "Oh my God, Josh, can I get a picture?"
That's exactly what they would say.
Yep.
And then they go home and they trash him.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's even David, though not as badly, he got, people are like, "I'm still mad at you for killing Herschel." It's like, well,
imagine if they read the comics. Oh my God.
The governor is irredeemable in the comics.
You need to read the comics. He is the scum of the earth. I cannot express it enough. Oh my, I had to take a break.
So like, who do you hate more, the governor or Negan? Because I know you like the governor. Okay.
Oh yeah. Jeffrey did his thing with Negan. There's like no humanity in the governor at all. There's
I don't
nothing
know what you're saying.
With Alpha. Like there's nothing to work with.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. Well, I'm just an ordinary father grieving over the loss of his daughter. Michonne owes me a penny. I don't know what you're saying. Everything that I did. Honestly,
comic governor would get canceled.
Oh yes.
So bad.
Well,
his reps have dropped him.
No Twitter in the
yeah.
But really, when you think about it, if it was the governor's story, if we had followed the governor from his beginnings to founding of Woodbury and everything, he'd look a lot more like a hero.
He wouldn't be my hero.
I don't know. Even like those heads in aquariums, he was apparently supposedly using those to kind of get himself used to the horrors that he faces so he wouldn't blink. So, I mean, it makes a certain amount of sense.
Go outside and look at walkers.
Anyway, what happened? Was I the governor again? Oh, shit. I get possessed by the spirit of the governor.
Oh, God.
What got me was when Andrea found those and still accepted him for who he was and was going to do absolutely nothing about it.
Yeah.
Protected him from Machond as if Machond wasn't her real friend and kept her alive when she was this close to death. It's crazy how people do you. You think they're your friend.
Yeah, well, Andrea was a much different person in the show than, from what I understand, in the comic books.
I love comic book Andrea.
She's great. Oh, Michonne in the show ends up taking a lot of Andrea's comic storylines. I mean, Andrea, is like with Rick. I mean, and Carl calls her mom and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love Michonne so much too. Those two are just they're precious on the show.
Yes, I second that.
And I'm like, when the show first started for me, but when I started from the beginning, I'm like, I still am a big Daryl Carol shipper. Say what you will. I'm with you, Yvette, Nicole. But but I think my favorite actually is Rick and Michonne now, because this is.
I just found out recently that my cousin is a Carol and Daryl shipper, and I was like, that's so gross. They're like best friends, brother and sister.
No.
Yes, they are.
I will say, best friends, but I wouldn't go as far as brother and sister.
I really liked Carol and Ezekiel. I
like them too. That's why I'm not mad about it. But
Ezekiel,
isn't there a little bit? I don't mean to be rude, but isn't Melissa a little bit older than Norman?
I think they're only like a couple of years different in real life, if I'm not mistaken.
Whoa. Don't be ageist. Just because her hair got a little bit gray before his, he dyes it, first of all. We know that for sure. That's 100%.
I thought it was just the grease from the animals.
That might be that might be it.
My auntie.
Yeah, no. I think, I want to give you guys the next episode right now. I wish I could. All the Carol Daryl. Oh, I can't say anything.
You're killing me. You're killing me over here. I'll give you my email after this panel's over.
I can't tell you anything. I'm not losing my job. You just have to watch the episode. It's a doozy.
It's cool. I get it early, so we're good.
Okay.
Yep, that's why you'll get my reaction really early, a little bit after 10. Anyway, okay. It is getting to be towards the end. Unfortunately, I was hoping to have somebody crash this panel, but I guess he didn't get home in time. So
damn,
we'll have to do that again. Maybe next one we're in, maybe some mysterious Walking Dead actor will just show up out of the blue.
Oh,
I'd love to do this again. This was fun.
This is fun.
Awesome.
I genuinely cry and am so sad that the show is ending and we're also in a pandemic. So we have to do everything in the house. There is no cons. There's no nothing. That sucks.
Yeah.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, this year, later on in the year, Wizard World is set up for August, is hoping. There's things later on in the year, September, maybe. Again, don't want to jinx anything, but with the rollouts, they're saying we might be able to, by June, have the majority of the country vaccinated. At least a good enough
if you go to Texas right now, you can do whatever the hell you want. Apparently, it's just it's all they opened it up today, 100%.
Georgia and Florida.
Oof.
Oh my god,
that could be why the actor
Walking Dead's about to be real, y'all. I'm telling you.
So is it like now the purge in Texas? So everything is legal at this point?
Their statement was literally like, you make your own choices. So it's kind of like, we're all going to give you a gun. Good luck.
Wait, does everybody even have their water and power back?
Yes, for the most part. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm like, did they just free everybody? I was like, yeah, you have no power and no water. So I guess you can go outside. So I don't know.
Don't bother wearing a mask, even though it would keep your face warm when it's cold,
Yeah. They're wearing ski masks. Oh man.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to wrap this up, but I want to give everybody an opportunity to, promote your social media, say what's going on. Johnny, why don't you start us off? Tell us about all Skybound and
follow at Skybound, follow at The Walking Dead, and at Johnny Odell if you want. The other two are much more interesting, but if you want to follow all three, go for it. Yeah.
Awesome. Jaz?
You can find me here at Wizard World, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
All right, sweet.
My YouTube is Machond. My regular Instagram is Life of Machond. I'm a chef, so my food account is made by Machond. And I have to put this out into the universe. I need to be a walker before we end the show. I don't care if I'm walker 10,000 in a herd. Some way, somehow, Machond needs to be a walker before my favorite show ends. That is.
I'm gonna make it happen right now. Greg?
Don't make me cry.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I wish I had that kind of power.
I have no context on the current show, so
I say it all the
time. I know we're dead on the show. And you can find Fandom Spotlight on all the social media at Fandom Spotlight, SPOTLITE. And the Governor Reacts is the reaction series. And the latest one is out. And We are going to actually be back next week with Wizard World with another one of these panels. I'm not sure who'll be on. Maybe we'll mix up a little bit. Maybe we'll have some of the same people. We'll have to see what we can do. But yeah, follow everybody here. And of course, follow Wizard World. Thanks to Wizard World for having us here. And there are some new things coming up. So go to wizardworld.com to check out the weekly fan panels. I know that they have some Doctor Who stuff every Tuesday, and now Walking Dead stuff every Tuesday, and more celebrity panels coming up. So in the near future. So thanks everyone out there for watching. Thanks you guys for joining me for this panel. It was great to have you all here.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome.
You guys are like the best guests ever. Even the governor wouldn't want to kill you.
Wow.
I don't know
Maybe.
about that now.
Well,
All right. I can't actually guarantee that. All right, guys. Thanks everyone watching. We'll see you next time. And peace out.
farewell.